If the mic is working, uh, that's good enough. It's like what 7:13 a.m. and I've really hadn't felt good for the last couple of days. I think for the first time in like 4 months here. Let's see, or 3 months and some time. I'm gonna go at it a little bit easier today because I'm just wearing myself to a frazzle. I found out the people that really respond to the stuff that I've done, I would be huge in Italy, and I like Italy. Actually, I love Italy, and but they just go nuts for stuff. This kid's from Italy just wrote me this. They're kind of artsy fartsy, and those are kind of sometimes the weirdest people to deal with because it's. It just is for a lot of different reasons. I'm not even really into this morning checking out a bunch of music. I just haven't felt really good. I've had that weird sore throat, which can be a symptom of some pretty serious stuff. I had it when I had cancer, and it's just one of those deals. For me, a lot of this is about sort of immortality, having it like I was real screwed up and sick, and it was the kind of thing where I realized that nobody knew my story really, and nobody really cared enough to tell it. We're all so focused on ourselves a lot of times, and that's the way it has to be in life. I had somebody say, "Oh, I'm sad that you think that nobody gives a shit." Well, I think we do care about each other as much as we can to an extent, but there comes a point where we all sort of have to just take care of ourselves, and doing anything else is like counterproductive to our own scene. So a lot of my thing is that I've never really shown the people that I have worked with and my family and everything all the different skills and things that I can do. So it's about bringing all these things together, but I have never shown them all the things I can do, so they just don't know. And it's kind of the same with the story of my life. How many people want to sit around and listen to their mom say, "Now on August 2nd in 1940 I did this," that boring old people shit, even though they think it's epic. It's like, I didn't really know her. It's here for 30 years, and she thinks she's like led this epic life, and it's like kind of sad when I see what's happened, but she don't know the difference. So I don't really know her still, but I'm kind of getting to know her here and there. And she still has no idea that I'm like a professional music producer or musician or anything. She just doesn't want to hear it, And she also kind of doesn't realize I have 3 advanced degrees in different hard sciences. She don't want to hear that. She tries to explain to me what's wrong with computers in the world and how they work and how they're affecting our social stuff, and I'm like, I'm thinking, do you realize, like, I have spent thousands of hours and talked with some of the brightest minds in the world on this subject, and it's like, if you really want to know, when I was real sick, I went to I put all my stuff in actually this RV to leave LA and give it to my mom, because I still have a lot of valuable stuff, and I spent 1 year to the day pretty much not knowing if I was going to make it or not, staying with my mom in a shitty little bedroom, and she I realized how there's a thing called people hunger, and it basically makes people just sort of talk nonstop. And I'm doing a fucking video log, so if you're gonna watch it, I kind of have to do that right now. So don't put that on me, But yeah, Mom didn't stop talking for 1 year, she didn't ask me a single question about what's it like to live in LA, what's it like to know this movie star and this rock star, and what's it like to be behind the scenes, what's it like to go to the Oscars every year, all stuff which I did. No interest. She just kept talking about this, just this complete, you know, bullshit stuff. But then when I realized, it was kind of sad, because I realized, oh, she's had sort of a crappy life, and she actually thinks like this stuff is epic that she's done, when it's just like really sad. So this guy came through last night, and I could tell, same with every critic, thought he was a clever critic, you know, and he left some kind of comments on this page, my Billy Bob page. And the thing about this page, I'm really already well aware of what's strong and what's weak, and it's like, it's not designed to have highfalutin. It's not designed to be highfalutin art. It's just something you look at and have fun, and it's not designed to be anything other than a good, fun time. And but he left some sort of snappy comments here and there, you know. And of course, when I went to his site, it's always the same, nothing uploaded. But if you look close, you can see, wait a minute, for such a snappy critic, he favored this band, favorited or liked 10 songs by them, and they're not very good at all. And then you look really close and you track it around, and you're like, yeah, because it's his own fucking band and they suck, and he's going around like trying to poke holes in everybody else. But he left some comments, but what made me feel good about it, and you know, I'm really well aware of what's valid criticism for this. I'm a professional music producer. It's like, it's not set up to like have highfalutin critics come through. And once you get things to a level of performance, it is what it is. There's really not any shooting holes in it. There's no need. It's either cool or it's not. That's why they got the fucking thumb, and I left it available on this page. But what made me feel good was, whenever I go to somebody's site, first thing I do is I hit, I don't like to watch their feature, because I learned in the music industry most people don't know what to feature. So I go up here and I hit the videos tab usually, and that opens up, you know, where I can then pick like something that I want to see. And a lot of people do that, and I'll tell you why, because it gives us a sense of control. And you know, a lot of people don't understand or realize that's me playing both of these characters. I get Sideshow Bob, this guy gets email all the time. People want to know about him. But he came to the site, he wanted to think he was for artsy fartsy people who like to be cute and clever. To draw them in, I put this down here, which is kind of secondary level stuff that I'm really well aware of what's strong and what's weak, and I could care less anymore. So he left a couple comments on this stuff, trying to, like, you know, kind of constructive actually. It's stuff I already knew, but also kind of slams, you know. And I was like, dude, you're just an asshole. I'm well able to take criticism and stuff, but you know, I'm not going to let my own site be used for negativity, A, and B, once somebody is allowed to kind of start putting negative stuff out, that's why all the record companies, when I was there, all the people in marketing and everything, are kind of shitting their pants when you release an artist, because there's the emperor's new clothes kind of thing, where if the first few critics give it a hard time and don't like it, everybody goes that direction, and then it might take a year to recover, you know, on the sales chart and so on. But yeah, I planted this down here to get reviews on this music and to get it some plays, and I know some of it's real good and some of it's not so strong, but every single one of them, people have posted, oh my god, this is incredible. So it is for some people, you know, not as much as other material I have, but there's strong stuff in there. And even though I don't think some of it's strong, some people like it. But yeah, he went over here and he left several reviews on these, which I deleted them all, because they were all sort of trying to be cute and clever, but they were really just digs, you know. And really, I could have cared less, but I don't want to have trending works a lot, where I don't want to have, like, if somebody posts a negative comment on a song, I notice the next 10 kind of tend to be negative, and then the whole thing starts collecting thumbs down, and then it loses steam all the way around, you know. Whereas if it's all pretty good and positive, everybody has a better time and it's just better reviewed. And, this is not highfalutin art, but I put this and I drew them in, and it was a weird day because this song is for a girl that got like 61 hits yesterday, who died. Now I really like this song, and it is strong. There's just no, after a few years of living with it, there's too many people have loved it on different sites, and at one time it got tons of plays on another site, and collected several hundred thumbs up, and it was favorited around the world. That's happening a lot now too. People are favoriting my stuff. But he kind of left a snide comment on there, like 7 out of 10 or something like that. It's a lot like this band, that band, the other band. And I thought, really? Because that's funny. I designed it exactly to be like this band, that band, the other band. It's like, just some of the crap that people come up with. But like I said, when I went to a site, what do you find? No uploads. You always find either it's somebody with no uploads or a phony site. Then if I really poke around and look, I always find it's somebody in another band. And I know that because I've had that happen to me, being really like envious of like the hits and the reviews other people get. I'm like, how are they getting all these hits when my shit's been up for a year? It's got 20 hits. This guy's getting 2,000 a day, and it's not even good material this asshole has. So yeah, it was kind of weird because like I said, it's all stuff I'm really well aware of, and I was gonna let it stay, and then I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna let the whole negative train get started here, and the whole let's overthink everything train. This is stuff, hit the thumb or leave, or don't watch it at all, but don't sort of try to pretend that you're some kind of big critic when you're just an asshole. And then you have other people who are criticizing everything, saying, whoa, if you can't take criticism, you're a fucking narcissist. It's like, no, there's a difference between being a public figure trying to successfully market something and not letting it get torpedoed publicly, and being well aware of what's sort of weak about stuff. There's a big difference in that than just being a narcissist who can't take any input, So it's kind of, yesterday it was like kind of being like an emotional fucking piñata. And then people who, I found like people that you really think are cool and are going to like be supportive. And even in my situation, it's like, man, I'm not well, I'm alone, I'm in the middle of nowhere, all the support I can get is great. And then you realize, well, they're unable to do that. They're just unable to offer you support. They will follow you, this is not my first rodeo with this. They sort of follow you for a while, whether it's your music or your vlog, develop certain preconceived notions about you, and then when you don't sort of fit what they need you to be, then they get pissed at you, then they quit following you, then they quit posting, and all of that stuff. And I'm kind of watching, and this time there's like people who are, and it's happened quite a bit before, they start seeing each other following you, then they start talking to each other, then it's like all in one day a bunch of people quit posting to your music or your vlog all at once, and they swear off of you, because it really what's happened is they're scared of their own addiction to this shit and their own emptiness in their lives, and I get that. I've been in all of those places. And then there's this whole big dance that goes on, and then like we always 2 or 3 days after they quit posting on your site, they show back up one at a time and send you private messages to sort of they drop back into the addiction, and then they go in and out of it. Then usually what happens is they either disappear completely, A, or B, they become like a good friend. They kind of just realize like, oh fuck it, there's nothing wrong with following people on the internet and doing this and that. I'm not gonna worry too much or overthink things, so there's so many levels to all this shit. But for me, I'm the most balanced I've ever been. Definitely able to take criticism, but there's a big difference between, like I said, professionally marketing something and not letting somebody use your own site to torpedo it, and just being a straight up person who can't take criticism. So there's a lot of levels.